Hello and welcome back to the Cartoonist Studio. First of all, let me apologise for not having the video last fortnight. I'll apologise during the video and I'll apologise now, and there's generally apologies absolutely everywhere. But I went on holiday to Cyprus where I had an absolutely wonderful time. It's a lovely island, so it's off the North African coast near Israel, Turkey, Greece. It's around a very, very hot part of the Mediterranean. And sitting there struggling under wonderfully azure blue sea and constant blue skies. It was just, even the clouds are there, it was still hot. Certain parts of the day, you just couldn't go out. Glorious, glorious place. Cyprus, wonderful. Visit it if you have a chance. And yes, so that was what I was doing. So sorry about that, but I was having fun. I'm sure you'll understand. I've got to have a little bit of that every now and again. Right, today we are working on, I'll explain it once again in the video, we're working on a single panel for a cartoon I'm hoping to send out, or I am going to send out to American syndicates, amongst others. So without further ado, let's go and do that. Okay, welcome back once again. And I will also apologise again for missing out on the video, but I just needed a break and it was a last minute thing. So these things are just, well, you know, they happen. Right, today I'm going to do something which I'm already almost finished. I think I mentioned it in my studio tour, which is a video I did a while back. And I was pointing out that features or ideas I've got go onto the top of the printer, and they're right near the door, and it's a way of sort of saying it's almost on its way out. And one of those was for a cartoon I'm going to send off to the American syndicates initially, and if they're too dumb to recognise a good thing when they see it, then I'll probably send it out to magazines, newspapers, and so on and so forth. Maybe other syndicates around the world, who knows. But this feature is called Noodle Pates. It's a single panel feature, and it's just gags. I do use some regular characters, but not many. But the whole idea of it is it's quite minimalist. Like you see, you've got a border around here. It's only in pencil at this stage. I've not bothered to put it in ink because when it comes to putting it into Photoshop and just getting it cleaned up and ready, let's just say I have, as in the case of this cartoon, I have a character here and a character there and a word balloon that goes there. Then let's just say that the illustration of the characters ends up there and it ends there, and the balloon starts here and starts there. This area to this area I will erase. This area to that area I will erase. And every bit that's not actually connected to a character or an integral part of the illustration will be erased. Reason I'm doing that is quite simple. To stand out on a comics page nowadays, you have to be different. Charles Schulz said that he stood out purely by using white space when all the other cartoons were solid blacks and very dramatic and what have you. So he fought back with white space, and it worked for him. All right, he had a pretty good cartoon feature as well, but that's the general idea. Bunch of single panel cartoons. I've got to stand out amongst the standard fodder of what would your classic ones be? I don't know whether they're still reprinting The Far Side, but that would be one. Argyle Sweater, it's just The Far Side, isn't it, really? And you've got Marmaduke probably still floating around there. And what's Dennis the Menace. So these are classics. You've got to stand out against those, and that's what I'm trying to do. So that's the idea of it. But first of all, I realised I've forgotten something, so I'm going back over to the West Wing to get it. So bear with me, I'm still here. Oh, I've lost it. Keep wait. That's it. Found it. Found it. All right, everyone, you can stop looking. I found it. It was this. It's my eraser. I'm useless without it. I'm pretty useless with it. Right, as I said, these are going to be, the characters will be very large in the panel. Like in single panel work for magazines, you might have a bit of scenery. If they're in a party, there'd be other people in the background, maybe balloons and bottles on the floor and empty glasses and all sorts of stuff like that to denote a party. But because the newspapers reduced the cartoons to such a ridiculous size, I thought I'd fight back with in your face images, very much like Jim Unger used to do with Herman. He was very minimalist. I quite like that. So I'm going to draw. There's only the two characters in this one, and they're in a betting office. So let's just get him started. We can just get this bit going. If I can get this bit right, I think right. Okay, I know where I am with that. Yeah, quite like that. I will. Yes, make sure that his top here comes not to the bottom, just shy of the bottom, and then his trousers. We're there. That's that, and then here we'll bring this fairly close. This is going to be the place where they make their beds. I mean, they change. Sometimes they're just a desk, sometimes a little bit of a booth, but generally they tend to have some form of protection. The people are behind some protective wires and what have you, because people can get a little frustrated when they've lost their wages on a bet without realising they were the dumb ones that made the bet in the first place. Let's just come a bit more then. And down here. Yeah, see, good job it did go and get the eraser, isn't it? Right. Okay, so standard guy, so nothing fancy. Give him a bit of a t-shirt. And this is in my simple style, shall we say. I really should show you one of these days, the other style that I've got. Never get round to doing it. I will. Do I tell you what the punchline is? Well, actually, I'll be putting the words in here so you'll know, because that's another thing. If I do cartoons for Cartoonstock, which they have a Cartoonstock page, those cartoons are for all over the world, magazines, newspapers, everything. Then I tend to do the lettering in Photoshop. And yeah, that's what I do there. But for this one, I thought, no, I'll go traditional. Once again, make it stand out a little bit more. Put the word balloon is not going to be much, but I still want it to take over a little bit of the page. So I'll have that there. And I've already put there's plenty of room there for what I need. Now what will happen here, I'll explain it, I'll show it now, because all that will disappear. All this down here will disappear, so will that, and so will that. And all you'll be left with are just the lines around here, here, and the word balloon. The word balloon will always be at the top because you need to have a certain amount of the top up there for when the newspapers, when they buy it, and I'm sure they will, can put the title and my name. Okay, and he's handing over his betting slip, or his money, more to the point. Probably his money, actually. Just general nondescript currency. And this guy's probably seen it all, so he's probably got a broken nose. He's had the world's frustrations smashed at his doorstep more than once. Yeah, I do single panels. I have a simplistic style. For the cartoons, kind of depends. If I do my graphic novels, they're a lot more involved. So the characters are a bit more involved. It's still fairly simplistic, I guess. It's the way I draw. Yeah. And just a little sign up here saying what it is. And that's really pretty much it. And there's something I want to talk to you about afterwards. I'm not going to talk about it now because there's really not going to be enough time, to be honest with you, before we're on to the inking stage. But it's about the way that I want things to go with this channel. Right about now. That's it. See, there's a mistake. Yeah. Hey, been doing this for years, and even I can make mistakes. It's a cylindrical affair, is this? So I could just leave it like that. And that's absolutely fine. But I want to really give it a bit more of a 3D effect. So I'm going to put that down there. Now I want to do it there, and it would have been confusing, what with the face and everything. It probably should be there if it's a proper cylindrical thing. But yeah, you sometimes you've got to change it to fit the image. Right, so that's pretty much that. I'm now going to get the ruler. Right. What was it again? Might be one line, I don't know. I think that's about right. I think I mentioned in the past that a lot of artists will do a top and bottom line to put the lettering on. I used to whilst I was practicing, but I don't need to anymore. So I'll go quiet now whilst I just write this bit in. There you go. 101 says I lose the next race. And I do this because my granddad was a gambler. And it always amazed me why if he wanted to win, why? Because he was always losing. He very rarely won. He was always losing his bets. It was just to make me think, well, why don't you just bet on losing? Because you're always doing that, and that way you'll always win. The simplicity of a child's mind is often the fodder for a cartoonist because it's the simple approach, the simple look, the simple view. And now I have room for the copyright sticker can go there, the signature can go here, and everything's all nice and tickety boo. I might even put the signature along there. So as you know, if I did it like that, and then I could run the line of the M to the edge there, and it would show. Or I may not. I don't know. The world's full of decisions. Okay, so that's it. There's the penciled cartoon. As you can see, a lot larger in the panel. There's no need for writing under here. Sometimes I guess cartoons might have the joke and then, some words up here and then an explanation along the bottom, which helps the joke along. But generally, it's all going to be done within a word balloon, within the panel, and with the basic characters. Right. Okay, actually, I'm going to drop this down a bit more, I think. Yeah, I'm going to drop this down a little bit more. We'll have more of him in there. But he's looking a little small in there. I don't want him to look that small, so we'll bring that back a little bit more as well. And I'm actually unhappy because he's too small. He's too small. I'm trying to do this and it's not right. So I'm still here. I've not got anywhere. I'm rubbing out. You can probably see a little bit of himself, can't you? I don't know. Because I have to draw it a lot harder for you to see it on the YouTube thing. Normally the pencils would be a lot lighter. So yeah, let's have him the same size as your man in there. And I wasn't happy with his nose in the first one. It just wasn't big enough. And it kind of works out better because now I can... His legs are a bit more noticeable. And also you see me drawing it at pretty much the same pace and speed that I would if I was doing it on a normal basis. If it was just me in the studio, no cameras, then yeah, I'd probably do... This is the speed I draw it at. There we go. Almost done. That's it. They're more or less the same size now. And when I say the same size, I mean, I know that some people are taller than others. Some people are, shorter, fatter, thinner, wider, all that kind of stuff. But they still have to look proportionally correct in the scene. And that's a big thing. At the moment, at that point, he looked like he was over here somewhere. There we go. Right. Okay, on with the inking and the little bit of a chitty chat, as I said I was going to have. See you in a few minutes. Minutes. Why do I talk about minutes? It's seconds, isn't it? I'm here. Everything's now with me. Right, let's get inking and chatting. Like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about, I suppose, growing the channel, but sort of start to hopefully make some money out of what it is that I'm doing. I am selling books. They're not so much flying off the shelves as falling off, but they're selling bit by bit. I'd like to do a bit more. So I've been looking into these channels that tell you more about marketing yourself, because I'm not very good at that. Like most artists, we're not very good at marketing. All we want to do is just sit behind the drawing board, be left alone, to have people give us lots of money. That's all we really want. We're very simple. We're simple folk. So what I want to do is I want to release a newsletter. And this is where you all get involved. This is where you've got to contact me, and my email will be in the description below. You email me and say, yes, you'd like to be added to my newsletter. It's probably, I think it's probably going to be monthly at the moment. It might go fortnightly, I don't know. It might even be weekly. But what the newsletter is, and of course I realise that they say you've got to give your potential readers or your fans something they want to know, something worth reading. And I know that a lot of you are interested in the day-to-day life of a cartoonist. So I thought, right, my newsletter will literally be about what goes on when I'm not behind the camera. What's going on in my work life, my cartoon life. And it can be projects I'm working on, whether they be for customers or for myself, a book or something, or a graphic novel. And that's what I want it to be about. So it's going to be a behind the scenes. And there will also be at the bottom universal links to all my books, or if I'm producing a painting that I want to bring out as a print, then there'll also be details about that. So you get to sort of keep up to date with me as a cartoonist. So there'll be photos, and there could possibly be little video shorts, I don't know. But the only people who are going to find out what I'm up to Behind the scenes are the people who subscribe to the newsletter. Now, the newsletter is free. I'm not going to charge for it, obviously. It's absolutely free. But I have to use a company called MailChimp, and they have to make sure that I have the permission of the person that I'm sending to. So if I say to you, if this is something you're interested in, then email me in the link below, and it'll also be on the screen about now, and I'll add you to that, and then probably within the next week, 2 weeks, the first newsletter will be out. It'll be on its way to you. So there you go. You want to find out what I'm up to? That's the best way. No one else will know. I know that when I was a cartoonist starting out, I would have killed to find out what a cartoonist got up to. When there were articles, I used to read them, and even another cartoonist came along. They generally do the same kind of thing, but it's absolutely fascinating. Sometimes you get little insights that you weren't aware of, and maybe the cartoonist wasn't aware of. But it really helped me, and it helped me imagine what it would be like when I was a cartoonist. I love that kind of thing. So please do subscribe to my newsletter. Get that email list growing. Because obviously every time I bring out a book, you'll be the first to know, and you'll have the first opportunity to go and purchase it before anyone else does. There might even be offers in there. Who knows? I'm still learning about this marketing malarkey. And the other thing is that I've mentioned in a few videos now about a graphic novel, me producing a graphic novel. Now, it has slightly changed. It's still going to be there. It's still going to be kind of a graphic novel, I guess. But the characters I'm using are characters I've had since I was 18. And I've always wanted to do things with them, and I've tried them as single panels, I've tried them as this, tried them as that. Nothing seems to work, and for some reason, even though I love the characters, and everyone who sees them loves them, can't seem to come up with an idea that suits it. Comic strips really don't. They're a bit more involved. There's a lot of characters involved, and this is the problem. There's no one main central character. There's lots of characters, and people who have seen it have said, "Oh, my favourite is this character, my favourite is that character," and so it doesn't have a regular main character or main characters. So I thought, well, actually, I think I know what I want to do, and I'm going to produce this graphic novel, for want of a better word, as a kind of a soap opera. So it's about the characters and the environment that they live in and what they get up to. And it's largely humorous. There's certain darkness in it. It's a cartoon called Pixie Wood, and it involves magical characters like elves, pixies, goblins, dwarfs, leprechauns, and some invented creatures like the creature from the 5 and 7 8th dimension. And Tuggy, he's a shape-shifting puka who got amnesia halfway through shape-shifting and doesn't know what he changed from or what he was changing into. There's also the Goblin King, who lives beyond he lives in the mountains, but they're in a different plane, a different level, and it's all quite simple, but quite silly. It's also magical, and it's also makes you sort of harken back to a calmer time, a better time. The Goblin King lives beyond the Dark Portal. These are 2 posts that exist both in Pixie Wood and in the realm of the Goblin King, the Mountain King. His kingdom is just... Well, I'll tell you what, I won't tell you now. I'll tell you in the newsletter. I'll explain it more there, because I'm either going to do another YouTube channel which will just be dedicated to the graphic novel. So it'll be a page a week, or I will put it on this and do it every other week along with these videos. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, see what I think. So that's another thing that's coming up, and might be interested in seeing that, because you will literally see how a graphic novel is being produced on a weekly basis, and then there'll be the finished page at the end. So you get a double whammy. You get the cartoon, the tutorial, should we say, an ongoing tutorial, and you also get the comic at the end. Right, there we go. I'm going to put the pen down over there because I can do things like that. And I'm going to sign this one. I'm going to put it down here, I think. And I'm just going to quickly show you what I mean. I will use thicker lines for the finish because this is not the normal pen I use. So what I'll do just there, and there. This gets used, and so we go on like that. That'll be pretty much it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If this is the kind of content you enjoy, then like and subscribe. Leave comments in the description below. And if you want to support me, well, there's the universal links for all my books on Amazon. Plus there's a Buy Me a Coffee, which is a good way of supporting the channel as well. Oh, forgot the lettering up there, so there we go. And I didn't letter the actual cartoon, did I? Tell you what, I'm going to go and get some pens. I'll be back in a second. And I'm back. I'll just letter this in now. Also, this lettering is very large on the page. So when it does reduce, it's still legible. This feature is almost finished. I think I've got 3 more to do, and then it's done. Yes, okay, so hope that's of interest to you. Yeah, anything you want to know, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And in the meantime, thanks very much for your company. I've enjoyed it immensely, as I always do. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one, which will be in a fortnight. And until then, bye-bye for now.